Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Tudor Grantour Automatic Flyback Chronograph. You can see and you can purchase this modern-day Tudor sports chronograph on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Tudor Grantour Flyback Chronograph. Now, this watch was part of the group leading the charge for Tudor during its post-2007 resurgence and international relaunch. The Grantour model line launched in 2009, and the watch you see here, the Grantour Flyback Chronograph, debuted at Baselworld in 2011. Now, you can see, unlike most of the most popular modern Tudor references, this one is distinctively modern with some heritage cues, but no direct reference to a specific past Tudor product, and it thrives on that originality. It's big but not overbearing. On my 16cm wrist, you can see the watch 42mm across the round of the case, not inclusive of crown guard, or chronograph pushers, is more compact than its chunky proportions would suggest. 42 is very wearable on my 16cm wrist, and I would say down to about 14.5cm, maybe 15 if your wrist is more round. You're going to be able to wear this watch with security and style. Now, in terms of thickness, it's actually not as thick as it appears. It's chunky, but it's not fat. 12.8mm from case back to the top of the sapphire. With a sloped bezel, it will easily slide underneath a blazer or sport jacket cuff. From lug to lug, the watch is more manageable than you might expect. 49.6mm across the wrist means that it's quite compact for a 42, especially one that's complicated and sports-oriented in character. Now, you open up the clasp and you realize just how substantial this strap and clasp combination is. First, the strap is massive. You can see the ends are cut to conform to the case flank, so the watch has a very integrated look. And the only reason you couldn't wear this watch on a smaller wrist than 14.5 to 15 centimeters is because the strap is so substantial that it will actually fight the curve of your wrist a little bit. But it's beautifully made, wonderfully bolstered calfskin. It's a vintage perforated style, but unlike the synthetic Corfam style straps that it references, this one's actual leather, and it feels it. Soft on the top, soft on the bottom, beautifully made with plenty of opportunities to aerate the wrist thanks to the perforation style. It's paired with a very high grade and substantial folding buckle. Polished inside and out, you can see it's steel with ceramic retaining pins internally. These ceramic retaining pins are harder than the steel, and they allow the clasp to retain its functional thresholds of tolerance, crispness, and high performance, as well as security and retention capabilities over time. The crispness stays, the tolerances stay, the functionality of the clasp stays, and all of that in what is considered to be Rolex's entry-level brand. I'm going to show you a few reasons why I disagree with that characterization, starting with that wonderful clasp. Even note it has a clamshell closure to lock it down. Now, the watch features a case that's all of high polish, but also quite pared down. The watch is mostly about the dial and the bezel, so the case doesn't dominate. The high polish works well, and it gives it a sensuous look. You'll also note that the watch features a complex motorsports-inspired dial, but when you look at it, there's actually not too much to handle. It's orderly, thoughtfully designed, and evocative of automotive imagery. Start with the checker or racing-style seconds track outboard. Move inboard where you can see hand-applied diamond polish indices, hand-applied and diamond-polished Tudor crest. There's a light ribbing across the hour track that runs horizontally, almost like the grill or the cooling vanes of a cylinder head cover. And then you can see that there is an instrument style to the sub-registers with the constant seconds at 3 o'clock and chronograph minutes over at 9. The watch features flyback functionality, which you can use, watch here, press the trigger at 4 o'clock to time 2 events in rapid succession. Now, you can see with the conventional start, stop, reset, restart sequence, if you have to time 2 successive closely spaced events, being able to simply reset and restart flyback style is a useful complication. Now, there's a classic sporting tritone here, black dominant, silver or whitish tones, and then a few shocks of red to set it all off. Very effective. This is one part of vintage chronograph imagery that the watch does channel, and quite effectively. Now, of course, I've mentioned that Tudor is sometimes characterized as an entry-level brand for Rolex, but whether contemporary or vintage, Tudor is in fact a collecting path and a passion in and of itself that requires no succession to the Rolex line. You can get into Tudor and stay into Tudor. And again, whether you're into sports styles, dress styles, vintage or contemporary, you're going to find something. And I think this Grantour is a great example of that. This watch even outdoes the crosstown chronograph rival from the parent brand, in as much as the Daytona itself lacks both a date and a flyback function. And whereas the Daytona is water resistant to 100 meters, this one with screw down crown is water resistant to 150. Underneath the satin finished caseback sits a ETA 2892 base attached to a flyback module, 42-hour automatic winding, very smooth. The flyback gives you that extra functionality, but you retain the underlying virtues of the ETA, namely toughness, hacking seconds, so you can pull the crown, stop the seconds, and synchronize to a reference time. And of course, there's a quick set for rapidly cycling the date should the watch run down. This is a handsome and worthy addition to the modern canon of Tudor watches. See it and own it on our website.